taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hello, and welcome to another phenomenal episode of Uncensored Conversation with Elevated Not Tolerated. I'm your girl, the bestest with the bestest, and my guest this evening is one of our old-time favorites. I ain't gonna call her old. I'm gonna say she's one of our tenured favorites of Uncensored Conversation. Michelle B. Hammond is in the house on tonight. Girl, what's up?
What's up?
It is so good to have you back in the house on tonight. You are doing some amazing things, and we want everybody out there to catch wind and grab hold to this and start working it with us. And so to those of you that are watching by live stream, please go out there and tell someone that Uncensored Conversation is on. And we have this wonderful guest tonight, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but our main topic tonight is going to be about mental health and stress. And she is the guru. She is an expertise in many fields. And so tonight we're going to kind of set some records straight. So get ready. Before we go any further, let me also throw out a disclaimer. Michelle has our own business, and so she will not be quoting any prices for her business. But Michelle will be more than happy to tell you how you can get in touch with her. And we're going to show her information. You can purchase her books online at Amazon.com. She's probably got about 1 million out there. And we want you to go ahead and, Michelle, you know what I'm going to say. Get 5 copies of each one of them. Make sure you give one to a good friend. Give one to somebody you don't know. Give someone to somebody you don't like. And keep an extra one just for yourself. So that's our disclaimer for tonight. Michelle, how have you been doing, my friend?
I've been doing great. Amazing.
You have been doing a lot.
Yes.
You are doing so much traveling. We can't keep up with you.
We're going to talk about that because, again, you talk about stress and mental health. You got to change up your environment. And people got to wonder why they might be grumpy because they have not changed their environments. I'm like the seasons. I got to change up my atmosphere just quarterly to do something. And I know things cost money, but not everything can cost money. You can just go ride in your car to the next city. That can make a whole lot difference in your outcome and your approach on how you see things and view things.
Exactly. Well, Michelle, you know what? I usually typically ask my guests to introduce themselves, but you know what? I put a little something together just because you're here tonight, and we're going to go all the way down your whole repertoire, and then we're going to come back around the corner. How about that?
Look, we don't have all night because that's
we're going to give folks about 10% of everything that we know about Michelle B. Hammond, right? So, guys, I want you to get ready. because I'm gonna show you a little something. Michelle, I want to see how many people really do know Michelle B. Hammond. Hold please.
Wow.
Well, Michelle, I think that kind of sums you up in about to those of you that are watching tonight is the phenomenal Michelle B. Hammond, and we're going to be talking about a lot of her projects that she's got going on. We're gonna dab right the main topic, which is mental stress. And Michelle, can you tell the people why I know you are the expert in this field?
Oh, well, it started with self first, but also there is some family members who suffered. I have an aunt who couldn't manage on the outside without proper being medicated. Some other family members um, that had some mental health issues. And I have still more family members that have mental health issues, but it also started with me as well. Just the self-care portion of it, it took me a while to understand, with the pressures of working, being a single mom at one point in time, those pressures, and I had to figure out it's some time for me time. And it's not selfish, because that can lead to depression, all of those things. And some things it can be generational through your DNA. So I just got more into it. First I started out, I said I wanted to be a nurse. Did the CNA stuff for years, for 21 years. Just never pursued it. But then I went on to psychology, and now I'm here.
And you recently graduated.
Yes, I recently graduated in February. Woo, woo, woo. So yeah, I'm actually, and I'm working. I'm working. I'm getting ready to take my state boards in a couple weeks. But I'm actually trained and certified as an addictions person as well, because I want to put that to the record. I want to put that to the record. It's still a mental health issue.
And you are so right.
It's just what we call co-occurring, because we're trying to substitute that drug for what's really going on with us, or chemically induced can bring on schizophrenia, because Lord knows things are laced now everywhere. It can bring on these hallucinations, these type of things. So
that's right.
Yeah, and that's what addictions is too in the family. So it's a baby of mine.
Michelle, would you say this? And I think this. maybe I'm all the way out in left field, but I think if we're all really honest, we all have experienced some portion of these in our families.
Right.
I think if we really be honest, we can probably pinpoint, Uncle Bob who drank too much alcohol and had a moment where he was cuckoo for cocoa puffs. And I'm just, I'm using phrases that I'm sure some of y'all would say that's not politically correct, but I'm just using something that y'all can, you can relate to. But we all, you may have, Aunt Sally who was, thought she saw whatever, and she really
Right.
didn't. You may have someone who is, who got into the drug scene that caused them to have, like you said, schizophrenic behavior. We may have, family members. And I'm sitting here thinking, about old family members. I'm sorry, family. We got some in there that had narcissistic behaviors, and then you see people who have gotten high blood pressure because they didn't know how to manage the stress. All of these are things that if we're really honest, folks, if you look around your family history, you'll see that a lot of the things that Michelle's going to talk about tonight, if you really kind of look at it, we all have experiences. So there's nobody on this planet that can't say they don't experience something. So let's be real.
And it's funny because I was at a Across the Lifespan training on Friday, and they talked about if we all have one point, and some atmospheres might not been as well as other atmospheres. I could say for me, trauma, yeah, you can have trauma being separated from your mom. I talk about that. That's a traumatizing thing for me to find out at a 10 years old that someone that you totally knew, even though they were family members, but you were adopted. Man, I went through the identity crisis. Why, what a kid thinks, well, why my mom didn't want me? I went through that for life. So, those are some of the issues. That's traumatizing. And I always said, for me, I want to work in like I said, I'll present healing. What I do for mind, body, and soul, because that was something that took away from me for a long time in my journey, because it was like I was a different person. I didn't know who my identity was, and that caused stress. That causes you low self-esteem. You can get in depression roles about that. So at the training they said, and we have something coming up on Tuesday on a forum on a Clubhouse talking about trauma, your ACEs. But now talk about it now. And if people look through me now, they will see the PTG, which they called it positive trauma growth. So just don't dwell on, and not saying that you're going to forget, not saying that you don't forget, but you don't dwell on, because this ACE study, which means adverse childhood experiences, it's a questionnaire that you answer between the time of you were 18, these certain questions. If your number is 4 or above, you could be a person who has a substance use disorder. You could be a person who will have a mental health disorder. You could be a person who has a chronic illness or a chronic disease. But these are the things that we need to talk about, even just in your environment. Not to put Baltimore City down, but there is a lot of trauma. The kids can't even go outside because what they witness environmental stress. There's types of stress that people don't even think about. There's physical, mental, and environmental. So certain noises, why you think people who have some types of conditions, that's why it's a stressor. So it's important that we learn these things, especially when it comes down to our mental health. This is why we had so many people upset. And I said it, I may be wrong. I just think that whole COVID thing, that was a stressor itself. And we're still dealing with the effects of being isolated, not knowing that a family member has died or anything like that. So it's a lot, but we just need to talk about it. Not go back to those old ways. What stays in this house, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And,
That's so true.
I mean, and I've said that, well, this is why you still have people, you know, you had Uncle Bob molesting, and this went down to generations.
That is so true.
Because what goes on in this house, this family lady, we don't want it to be said. I do it all the time when people come. I have to do these assessments. And as a person who works in this realm, I got to debrief, because some of that comes home. You be thinking, just last week, something came up with a client, and again, they didn't want to talk about it or share. But if we understand those ACEs, then you can do a better treatment for that person.
And I think that's, I'm glad that you're able to come on tonight. And to all of you that are watching, hey Kim, hey Kay, hey big brother Al's out there, my brother and my cousin brother and his beautiful wife are out there. Thank you for joining us tonight.
All right, thank you for joining.
So go out there and please tell someone that we're keeping it real. We're talking to the phenomenal Michelle B. Hammond. We're talking about mental health and the stresses. And later on in the program, Michelle's going to even give us some techniques that some people may not feel comfortable with, but me and Michelle stand in total agreement with it, Michelle, because as you know, there's some things that I've experienced in my life, and that's how I came into knowing about what you're going to talk about later on and showing the techniques. And I'm a witness that it works.
It is not witchcraft.
Exactly.
So it's not witchcraft, because Victoria, you done opened it. You didn't open that door for me to walk into this now.
We're gonna talk about that tonight, girl. Because I want people to, and that's the reason why I love having you on the show. Because Michelle, you're a podcast host as well, and sometimes we can have those topics that everybody don't want to talk about, but we know that it's real, and it could be one of those topics that has people have one-sided views on. But tonight we're gonna set the record straight about some of these things, because some things ain't witchcraft, some things ain't whatever. You just need to go and do your homework, and that's the reason why Michelle, and I'm glad Michelle is on the show tonight to help me talk to you guys, and so you can hear it from an expert in the field. She's got the degrees to do it, she's got the experience, and now she's got all this other stuff that she can share with you to help you get to that next level. Michelle, so I want to take a little break, and I want to get you some water, because I want you to come back and I want you to tell the folks what is the difference between some of the labels that people have put on mental health. Because you brought up you just kind of talked about a couple of things right there, but because one of the questions that I have for you that came in through finding out you were going to be on the show was, how do we come up with these labels when it's Billy Bob just bumped his head and now he's not all there? How do we come up with these labels, and are these labels all are true to the calling? So we're going to take a quick break. I want you to come back and give the people a little bit of information on the different types. All right, guys. So look, I tell you what, I want you guys to know more about what's happening with Uncensored Conversations. And the best way to tell you that is to let you know who's coming up the next couple of weeks.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
So you see who's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Make sure you go ahead and tap right in. Michelle and I are going to be doing some other things that we're not going to tell you about just yet. So you got to stay tuned to know more about what's happening with Uncensored Conversation. Michelle. So before you get into talking about the different types of labels that we've put on stuff, I want to also tell the people, look, again, I'm going to put up Michelle's information, how you can reach out to her, not only to get more information about mental health, but Michelle is a singer-songwriter. We're going to tap on that a little bit later. She is also an author of about 5 million books. You only saw a handful of them, we just showed you. She's got some more books on Amazon.com. Please go out there and my rule, buy 5 of each of her books, and make sure you tell her that we sent you. Michelle, so tell the people how we come up with some of these names and labels, and what can you share with us to help us understand it more clearly?
So for one thing, clinical, there's let me go into that phrase of it, because it's clinical.
Yes, please do.
And these are diagnoses. No, you won't see a diagnosis that says crazy. No, you'll probably say a schizoaffective, bipolar, or depressions or whatever else. So as a trained person, individual, there is a resource tool that we can use, which is called the DSM-5 TR. It used to just be the DSM-5. These are different criteria. So what happens is those are resources of tools. So for instance, you might go to your primary care physician. Look, I was getting ready to say PCP, but I got to use the right terminology.
I was going to say, girl, break it down.
I got to use the right terminology. And that goes in my head sometimes. So what you'll get is a PHQ, which is a 9, which is go through a certain assessment. So what happens is when your doctor can say, well, how you been feeling? Just ask that question. How many persons have your doctors do give it? So now they have to do this because with the rates of mental illness going up so far. So if you're not getting it, please advise your doctor to get that. So, because there's something going on, we're asking you about your sleeping. So again, that might be something with anxiety. And then you got to look at the criteria, because there's different status on. If you have so many of these criteria, then it can tell if it's moderate, severe, or mild. And there's a book that we use to do the diagnosis. But there's, again, resources like for someone who has a substance use disorder, we might use something that's called the MAST, which is the Michigan Alcohol Test. And that'll say, it's a list of 20 some questions, and it'll go, does a family member concerned about your alcohol? Or is there anytime you've been arrested, how many times? And you add all of these up and you come with this borderline, and it'll tell you severe, not mild, or whatever else. So it's different types of resource. So again, clinically, person who has been trained to do this. Don't go online. Let me put that disclaimer. It's fun. It's good to research it, but make sure that you have someone trained and who is alert and it has been skilled for that, to give that diagnosis. But when we talk about labels, it's all stigma.
So Michelle, put a pin right there, because I want you to come back with that. But one of the questions that we got offline is this. So when the doctor is asking you those, or the nurse, they say doctor, nurse, is asking you those questions when you're first going to see your, I'm going to say PCP because that's what I know it as. When you're going to see, she's using all the clinical words. So y'all people that ain't clinical, y'all know that y'all ain't clinical. Okay, thank you very much. I'm not clinical. I just worked in the field long enough that I know what a PCP is. Okay, anywho, so I have a question out here that says, when you're getting those questions at the beginning of your visits, right? How you feeling today? And I'm reading off what the person wrote. How you feeling today? My head hurts. The doctor asks you, well, how long has your head been hurting? And you say, over a week. The doctor says, could that become for something that you're stressed over? And I say, yes. So is that what you're talking about when you're saying that?
Oh, it could be. What could be a stress? Again, we talk about, let's go back to the types of stress. Remember, there's environmental, mental, or physical. Well, that pain that you might be feeling, it could be a physical alert that there's some stress that's going on. So how do we document that? Now I'm getting ready to give some tips. So
come on, write these tips down, y'all.
Right, I'm getting ready to write something that's from the Let's Talk No Stress book. Um, and since April, let's say that again, April is Stress Awareness Month. Um, there are a lot of techniques that's out here for you to figure out. So yeah, Victoria has it up right now. So your doctor will say to you, well, is there any stress? And then you'll go, oh, well, maybe, I've been having it, or because the headache, it might be because it's a seasonal, because we have allergies or whatever else like that that's going on. But to see if this is really something that's really stressing you out. So I recommend, now I'm not giving you no treatment, but I'm just saying my recommendation to figure out a technique that you can use to see a stress. So here it is. 14 days, 2-week journal. This pain is not going away, whatever else. So it might be saying that this is something that's a physical stressor. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to document when this happened, what you were doing, who is it, what's the environment you're in, and then you're going to document this for a whole week, these 2 weeks. Within these 14 days, you're going to look back at this journal. And I say it's a stress journal. It can be you can go to Dollar Tree and get this. You can go to Dollar Tree and get this. You can go to Dollar Tree and get this. And it can pinpoint if it's a person, place, or thing that's the pinpoint, what's the stress that's causing you. And that's how you can use that as a stress journal.
Okay, Michelle, I'm putting in the book that she's referring to, which is her book, which is Let's Talk No Stress. I have it. It's the stress management book. I'm going to put the title in there for you all, and you can actually pick that up on Amazon. But if you act real nice and you contact her, she might send you an autograph copy, because that's what I got as an autograph copy.
So this is the stress. I call this as a stress diary mechanism. So you keep a stress diary for 2 weeks. It can be a notebook. Document the date, the time that you feel any stress. Document the causes of your stress. So when I say causes of your stress, what were you doing? Was it just that phone call? Sometimes it might say that person could be the cause of your stress. I'm just saying. I don't know. Document your symptoms. Like, is it a twitching? Is it pounding? How long is this taking? And then in the 2 weeks, you review it, and it should help you to see what is the main causes of the stress within your life. And again, sleep is the most important thing, because I know now you hear a lot of people saying, I'm having trouble sleeping. So some of that, again, can figure out, document, am I eating too heavy of a meal at night? Because I tell people this as well. If you ever notice, I worked in long-term care for 21 years. And just go, if you ever knew anybody in a nursing home, lunchtime was the heavier meal. At night is the soup or salad. Because again, you don't want all that heavy stuff. And I know society has us like that, they have us going, with that type of thing. But that's another area that you can do. Eat lighter instead of eating heavier. Eat the heavier during the day. And I just did something to challenge myself for this week. And I want to thank Miss Tanya Wise for that. I did a 7-day no meat this week. And I'm a stress relief person. I teach this. But I will say, with this 7-day no meat, I have had the best sleep that I have had in a while. And I even told my doctor that. My doctor was like, so you're saying it's the meat? For me, it may be. Because again, and I don't want to be too deep with that, I'm not all about PETA. If you got to eat meat, I'm not telling you not to do, but I know how it helped me. It helped me because, again, they say you are what you eat. Well, those animals, when they're going through, they're getting slaughtered. They go through trauma.
Talk about
traumas in your meat. I'm just I hate to be the bearer of the truth, but that's just what happens. But I know it worked for me. Now, I gradually ate something meat, chicken. I ate a little piece of chicken today, but I'm just saying it's a whole lot out here to think about. Chemicals that's in our food is making us sick, but those are some things that could be making our biorhythms mess up. So it's just some things that we just got to be learning of and getting the mechanism of.
So Michelle, I'm gonna go back to the pig and the cow and the chicken. Y'all, I'm going because Michelle and I had this conversation the other day, and people, we say, oh, there's nothing wrong with eating the chicken. Okay, y'all, I'm not telling y'all not to eat because I just ate a big meal. My God, somebody bought me a big plate of food with some meat on it, Michelle. So
that's okay. I'm saying I ate a little piece of meat too today, but
So if I don't sleep good tonight, I got my stress book, and then I'm gonna call you and say, Michelle. Okay, I'm not joking, y'all, but I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Okay, so Michelle, let's go back to that pig and that cow and that chicken. You said something very unique, and I didn't really think about it until we were talking that day, that it makes sense. The cow, the chicken, whatever that you're eating went through a trauma. And so anytime, and I'm just going from what I know, I'm not clinical, I'm just worked in the field beside people like Michelle. But if the cow and the chicken was going through trauma and the body reacts to trauma, correct, Michelle?
Right.
So if the body is reacting to the trauma of being killed, the meat that we're eating, that body has picked that up. Am I right, Michelle? Isn't that how you explained it to me the other day?
It is. It can be physical stress, mental stress. I mean, it is, and that's environmental. Again, we got these pesticides and stuff that's going on right now. That's in the with the grain that they eat. So it's just a lot that can actually mess with our biorhythms and all that type of stuff, our mechanism in our brains, and some of the stuff is just not healthy. We pray over our food. Like, oh Lord, here we go. We pray over it.
What you talking about? I done laid hands on my chicken before I broke that wing, I put it in my mouth. What you trying to say? That I'm not praying right, Michelle? Is that what you?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just that's for our next act. That's for our next act.
You mean that hamburger that was killed by that? And I done prayed over that Whopper with cheese. That you mean my praying good enough to kill it?
Yeah, it's just we just gotta look at.
We gotta be more
chemicals. You gotta know that for instance, you know how they talked about children had the hyperactivity because of the red dye and stuff, and I tell you that it's sugar does. You see kids, I'm a grandmother, mother. I've seen it work. It has. Those are like some of the chemicals that can mess with our mental statuses and stuff like that. And if you notice, once you have all that sugar, then what happens? You get right depressed and right down. Yeah. It is not, and I'm not telling you not to go eat. Let me put that disclaimer. I'm not telling you not what to eat. I'm just giving you some things that can really mess with our mental and our bodies and everything like that. Again, it's just that I'm not telling you to, do you.
Hey,
what makes you happy? You do you.
And
Michelle, but I know as for me, that 7 day no meat would work wonders for me. So I had the best sleep I had in a long time. And I sleep, but I had the best sleep this past week.
So you're going to be sharing that with me, and I might share it with the people.
Yeah, I'll share. Me and the facilitator, we're actually going to put something together. We're just waiting on our schedules to get together. We're actually going to do a class on it.
Well, Michelle, please let Uncensored Conversation. Well, look, let Victoria Elevates know so we can promote that, and also get our tickets.
Yes,
to the event. Yes. No, so I said tickets.
I'm gonna tell you, I'll share some of the meals that I had, and I know we might be going a little bit off topic, but
No, you're fine.
like one of the meals that she had was in the book was a chili. This chili, it was kidney bean, no meat chili, but it was kidney beans, and you had black beans, the red kidney beans, and you had sweet potato. And it was really good.
That sounds good.
Really good.
If anybody knows Donna Neely out there, tell her, Michelle Hammond's in the house giving away recipes.
So yeah, it was really good. And then I had that mixed with spinach salad with feta cheese, the Roma tomatoes, and we had like cranberries, some chickpeas, and it was really good. And I alternated, and then I did black bean burgers.
Now those are good. My daughter does those. Those are good.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think. So I went to work the next day. The girl said, I thought you didn't eat no meat. I said, honey, this is no meat. This is a black bean burger, isn't it? Yeah, it was good. And I did the salad. One day I did the spinach stuffed cheese ravioli with the salad. It wonders.
I want to go back to something that you said though, and y'all might think that we're off and we're playing it or whatever, but this is how me and Michelle and we get our points across. But Michelle, you said something about how you eat, whatever you might eat may cause you to have different emotions, and for years I did not understand why I felt some kind of way when after I ate pure chocolate. Now, let me put my disclaimer out there. That don't mean that you can't bring me none. Okay, I'm joking. I am joking because they say I'm a diabetic. Okay, but pure chocolate, Michelle, this is a difference for me. Pure chocolate versus processed chocolate. Pure chocolate will knock me out. I can eat a smidgen, and I'm gonna be asleep.
And that because of the chemicals, is pure chocolate. Again, the best chocolate they said is dark chocolate for us. So again, the processed chocolate, I'm sorry to say it, Hershey's is not. But if you want to get the cocoa bark and make your own, those are some things that you can do as well.
And I used to didn't like Valentine's Day because I blamed it on the chocolate. Okay, see Michelle laughing at me. She know, but it's seriously. For a minute, I thought, am I allergic to Valentine's Day? Because that's when the most time people, I eat chocolate, but during that time, I don't want to eat chocolate. When people say you don't like Valentine's Day, no, it's just I don't. Y'all do all this chocolate hearts and boxes of chocolate candy and all that stuff, and I don't want all of that because it makes me depressed. See, now Michelle's giving y'all the reason why I can't eat it because it messes with mine. So please don't bring me no chocolate candy for Valentine's Day in those little boxes. Please bring me some fruit. I appreciate you very much. And my diabetes will appreciate you as well. So Michelle, I want to start getting into that topic that you and we really like to dig in, and people like, she's on edge. Michelle, we're going to take a quick break, but I want you to come back and start that topic, girl. I ain't even got to tell you what you're going to start talking about. We're going to the rooty to the tooty. And before we take this quick break, I'm going to give y'all a fair warning. If you are just scroll on by, click off, end your conversation with us. You got what you needed. Keep it moving. But we're getting ready to get into some deep topics, some discussion about techniques. We're going to get into some deep discussions about what we've been told, and it's not truly what you think it is. So if you can't handle it, now pray over the next few seconds before you come back and see if you want to be joining us, because we're going to get ready to get deep and dirty here on Uncensored Conversation, because we want you to know some real truths about some techniques and some things that you may have thought was wrong when in actuality it was right. So we want to stop for a brief moment and tell you some new things that's happening with Victoria Elevates.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Got me
Michelle,
jamming.
Michelle. You like it, Michelle?
I like that. I like
I'm
that.
going to see if we can buy the music so you can put a song to it. We're going to tell y'all about Michelle's singing career and her other stuff in just a few minutes. All right, Michelle, look, I ain't going to play. We ain't going to play. We just going to take it away, Michelle B. Hammond.
Okay, so we know that we have type of treatment modalities for mental health. And there are holistic approaches and holistic therapies that can be used. I per se choose to use holistic more type. Now, I'm not saying, let me put this disclaimer, I am not saying that if the doctor, once your diagnosis you get a diagnosis. I'm not saying that not to take your medicine, because take your medicine. I'm just going to say that. You need your medication. But as for me, in the realm of addictions, in the realm of helping people with anxieties, and in my newest business venture, I've actually been working with sound frequency for a long time, maybe about 10 years, maybe now, when I had my own other business that I started using pulse electromagnetic field type of biofeedback, which I use for relaxation. So when someone comes to me, they're coming to me for relaxation. I'm a holistic approacher. So let me put that out there. I'm a holistic approacher. So what the type of services that I render are more from a holistic side. And we do work with behavior symptoms that some people carry. Now, I will say there are some practices that some of our folks don't believe in as being Christians, but I can say my intentions, let me just say this.
Start it off, Michelle. Go ahead, girl.
I know who God is within me. So whenever I use any holistic approach that comes forth from here, from Mama's Healing Sounds for You, because I want to promote healing. Now, not saying I cure, but I want to promote healing. I want to deal with the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And that's what my intentions are. Now, I know some Christian folks don't believe in Reiki because it's Buddhism, or what it came from a Buddhism practice. But for me, I just feel as though, and I shared this with Victoria, and there's a testimony from a person who is a pastor's wife when I worked in a doctor's office that I often share. She shares in my women's retreats that I hold. I just held one. That people got healed, people got set free. Those type of things of bringing people together for comfort in a safe space. That's what I provide. And I use God in everything. So some people don't believe that, Reiki, because they say it's from this often world and it's whatever. But for me, I use it as what he said. In his word, he tells us about greater things and works that we should do. So these work of my hands.
Come on.
The work of my hands, these hands are anointed because I have him within me. So for instance, people say you're not supposed to practice, that's energy or whatever else. The world is all nothing but energy.
Michelle, stop right there and tell the people, because there may be some other people out there who have never heard this terminology and don't know what you're talking about. Can you kind of tell them what that is?
Okay, so Reiki is a practice where it talks about energy and it's dealing with your different meridians in your body. You have your crown, you have all of this is a part of your body, and this is all like certain areas that sometimes can be blocked, and it could be blocked because your eating habits, your system, your mind ain't right. Again, I'm upfront, mind, body, and soul. If one thing is out of a line, everything else can be matter. So we got to figure out the mind, the body, and the soul portion of that. So, some people don't believe in it, but hey, I know when I work through with the giftings that he allows me, and I don't do it with everybody. And I'm not saying I'm walking around here doing it all the time. But for instance, this one time, he uses me and he uses my gift of hand sometimes to help others in what they're going through. So for instance, I worked in a doctor's office and this lady came in, hadn't slept in 18 hours, right?
Wow.
And 18 hours, and she was a pastor's wife. And she said, I got this retreat. I don't know how I did it. Again, because she has an autoimmune disease, Lyme's disease, which can run havoc. You can't sleep, you're thinking, you're clogged, all of that type of stuff. And all this in my voice, he was like, go lay your hands on her, go lay your hands on her, pray with her, And I'm like, huh? Huh? I'm like,
that conversation.
Yeah. So I'm like, So again, as a Reiki practitioner, you ask the person, you say to them, what she said. I said, well, are you a woman of faith? Now, are you a woman? Because I said, look, I believe in God. I believe in all the God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And that's what works through me. Right there. She said, oh, well, I yes, most definitely. And again, it's discernment. Again,
that's true.
I will say that next day, I did it. It was about 20 minutes. Heat reared up. I felt the heat come through. And the next day, the secretary come running back in the room. I had forgotten all about it. She said, Michelle, Miss So-and-so said, what you did for her? She went home and had the best sleep. She slept for 16 hours. And she's going to be able to go do this retreat and speak to these other women. That's just the effect of using your hands. To me, I just say that's what it is. You might, again, people going to pick and choose because I had this conversation with you a couple weeks back about it. Again, people going to pick and choose what they're going to pick and choose to defect their view. So for instance, a couple weeks back, somebody I know they had put on about this person who had once was a Reiki healer. It's of the devil, it's of that, and it's different modalities. I still know who God is within me. He said, greater works that you should do in this land and time. I know what he's placed me to do is to bring some healing to people. So if it's using these hands, it is what it is. I'm using these hands. Now, far as the sound bowls.
Okay, I want you to hold right there before you go to the sound bowl, because I'm hearing you. I've worked with you over the years. I know you are a sound practitioner, and everything that you do, nothing that you do, you don't, because this is the thing when you have people that like Michelle in your life, and there are people of God. People say all the time, Michelle, they ask me, why do you put woman of God on my flyers when I'm telling who's coming, or man of God, whatever? Because I want those of you to know that the majority of the people that come on the show, they have, well, not the majority, all of the people I have, they just don't say it like you say it. But this is the thing. What is the difference than you spending $400 or $500 to get a massage when they can come to you and do the same thing?
Right. Well, I'm not licensed in massage, but let me tell you.
But what I'm saying is they'll say, well, I'm going to get a massage, but they'll put down what you just talked about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So explain to them what the difference is.
So for me, well, massage is you're working out muscles or whatever else, but what Reiki is, you're actually you don't even have to touch somebody with Reiki. It's just the point of you waving your hand over top of that person and just take, and there's a way to lock out things that shouldn't be, and people have I've seen people have anxiety get calm because those cells of that energy, and we all have that type of thing. Yeah. We all have that type of power, with saying that he gives that to us. We should. I'll just say, people go back to a person who just said they picked this person for their view. It's not of the devil, and they're a massage therapist. They're a massage therapist, but they don't. This energy, I don't use. We all are some type of energy.
Michelle, I had an uncle that And his daughter went on. She's now doing, and I can't ever say it right, Ricky. She does it as a profession. That's her thing. But she got it from my uncle. My uncle would just, because I'm a migraine sufferer, y'all. My uncle would just do like this and just he wasn't speaking any magical words or anything. No. It was his energy, it was one of his gifts that God had given him. And he would do that, and the pain, literally, I could feel it just going across my head and going out the window. You know what I mean?
And then there's a way that you pray. I have my music. I've created, in which, and I'll talk about that when we're talking about sound. My last album that I did a meditation affirmations. Why not and do affirmations when we're telling you are worthy? You're love. We want more unity. You want those things. And I use the sounds of frequency. Again, let me tell people, you need to look this stuff up. Solfeggio frequencies. How you think we got our radio power? How do you think that we get our transmitter? Because those sounds and those frequencies, those are natural moving of the earth. And I don't know if anybody saw my post a couple weeks back. I asked a question because I want to introduce this. If the moon moves the water, what you think moves us?
Michelle, do it, girl. Come on, say it.
Thank you, Kay. See, Kay knows that sound is therapeutic. You got it. Alpha, delta, theta frequencies are enhanced. Sound or singing bowls are part of my grounding routine. Don't knock it before you try. Hey, let me tell you, if you look at a video on Friday at this training I went to, some people, as this lady said, some people need to come get back to their 6-year-old self. Go run outside and ground. That's of the earth. If we ever look at what the earth, there's a magnetic field. That's natural. That is so natural for us. And with these sounds, when I do these sound bowls, I have an ocean drum. Yes. I have those are natural sounds that promote different things. And some of the things that you might be dealing with, your anxiety. I can tell you what, when I have a person who comes in the group, I work in a substance treatment facility. I do group facilitations with that. It can lessen your chronic pain, moving that. It can improve your sleep, reduce anger, improve your blood pressure, improve your respiratory rate, reduce the symptoms of your anxiety and your depression, and neurological. That's what we're talking about, our minds, our neurological disorders. These frequencies and these sound, because again, we're 80% of water. Those sound and frequencies charge that can get to promote some healing into what's going on. I just want people to have an open mind with this. And it's nothing, no witchcraft, because I had to tell a lady this back when I went to a conference in January. She was like, oh, she's bringing them things out. And that's some of that witchcraft. I said, okay. And I said this on the show a couple weeks back. I said, okay, let me just get you straight here. I said, I'm just want to, don't knock it. I said, you God fearing, right? She said, yeah.
Go ahead.
Said, yeah. I said, okay. What does it say in his word about, what should you fear? You're not alone, right? I'm here, different here, 2 and 3, we touch and agree, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I just want to give you something, give you back a story. I want to give you a story back biblically. I said, okay, we're going biblical, since you said. I said, all right.
That's good, Michelle. That's good.
In the Bible, we always hear about that spirit that was tormenting Saul, and who put that on Saul?
Come on
who
now.
Put that? Victoria, back me up, please.
I'm good. I'm sitting right here going, you better go ahead. You telling the truth.
Who put that spirit on Saul? Okay.
Who put that spirit? Who put it on there, y'all?
Who
y'all
put that spirit on Saul?
Come on.
I'm just saying. I just want some people to be enlightened a little bit.
That's right.
On a couple of things. So we always was told it's a harp. No. The
No,
Bible
it was
said it
not.
was a lyre
Yeah,
that
it was a
David
lyre.
used, a lyre, which could be more form of a harp.
Yeah.
But it was that sound, it was that frequency that made that spirit leave. So I just want people to have an open mind on this type of stuff and stop saying everything is of the devil, because I always go back to that again. Everything God made is good. And he made everything on this earth.
Everything.
Even that. Do I have to go back to the crystals? I'm not saying I'm not a person that I don't practice with the crystals, but I just want to give a little teaching on a couple of things with that.
Go ahead.
Because
talk about it, Shell.
Some people say, oh, with the crystals, the sage, you eat sage in your sausage. Hello. Medicinal purposes. It clears up your lungs. Come on now. Medicinal purposes. Come on.
Y'all using it. Some of y'all growing it.
All right. But we talk about the crystals. I'm not saying I practice them, but I'm just saying some people got to be, stop judging. You putting judgment on people all the time. But here we go. Aaron breastplate of the 12 tribes had different jewels, crystals. If that's the case, we shouldn't be wearing jewelry. Come on now. I'm just saying. I'm like, okay. I'm like over it. So I know what I do helps to heal people. Each his own. If you don't believe, you don't believe. But stop picking and choosing scriptures that you think is going to subdue, or find something on YouTube that's going to subdue. Now, like I said, this person went and found this person who benefited over 20 some plus years doing Reiki in the practice, millionaire doing it. But now you upset it because you didn't have the enlightenment. Well, let others have the enlightenment and finding what works for them.
That's it. If it ain't, look, Michelle, this is me. And I appreciate you again for being on the show. Look, guys, I'm gonna keep showing her information for you to reach out to her. Make sure you check her out on Tuesday nights for Mind, Body, and Soul right here on live on Facebook Live. Make sure you check her out. Michelle, I appreciate you setting the record straight, because again, there's so many people that only read one side of the Bible. They don't read the whole Bible.
Right. And I mean, it even goes down. It was the sound that told, when he told them to march. What did they do?
It was the sound.
It was the sound. It was the frequencies. I'm like, when I sit and do it for substance or wherever I have a group, I see the promoting healing. People cry for the first time. There was a question that I asked the group yesterday. The question was, what is your worth? Some people had never. I said, are you priceless? Some people had never had that question answered to them, and they saw it in a whole different perspective after me telling them that, know your worth. Those affirmations, speaking those things to certain people, speaking life into people, those sounds and those frequencies, they work. And, go back to the jewelry and stuff. If that's the case, Jaspers, it talks about all this stuff in the Bible. And then I really kicked it when, I really got someone really mad with me when we talk about Jacob, when he wrestled with the angel all night. He wrestled with God. He wrestled with God, but he laid his head upon a rock, right? Okay.
Come on now. You better preach, preacher.
He laid his head upon the rock, right?
That's right.
So when he laid his head upon the rock, he got up that morning. What did he do? He blessed that rock. And it's not that he's worshiping that rock, but he blessed that rock. So I'm just saying, come on, people, we got to do better. When we know better, we'll do better. Stop judging everything that I know is holistically that can help people. I've seen it. I'm a witness to it. So
I am too.
I've seen it. And, frequencies, sounds, anxiety, even with the mobile chair that I have here, the vibroacoustic in harmony chair that I have using for. It must be, it's doing well, because again, you're hearing so many people talking about people's stress, your breathing, breath work, It works. When you breathe, your heart rate goes down. That's why they try to tell people to settle themselves down. Just be still for a while and see, just imagine that, for a couple minutes. So I'm just saying, just have an open mind on these new modalities. And no, it's not new age.
No, it's not.
It's been around for years. Sound has been around for years.
Just didn't know what they was listening to.
Just didn't know what they was listening to. Didn't know what they were listening to.
Michelle, I want you to hold it. Put a pen right there. I want you to get a glass of water, because girl, you coming back and talking about them sound bowls. Okay. I am ready for you. I want these people to understand what this is about. Guys, we're going to be sharing some more with you with how to get in touch with Michelle B. Hammond. But we're going to take a quick break so she can get these bowls ready. I'm excited. Michelle, I can't wait when I come up to DC next month. I'm going to have to say, can you come get me so I can go by your house so we can do a little relaxation therapy for me, because I need it, girl. All right, guys, y'all hold your thought and get your pens and paper ready, because when we come back, I'm going to shoot Michelle's information again for you to be able to reach out to her and get more information. Hold your horses.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Those individuals that you just saw are some sponsors of Uncensored Conversation. We're going to be giving you more information in the next couple of weeks how you can be a sponsor of bringing wonderful people and guests like Michelle to the plate, because we want to do some different things. Michelle, it's 2023, but it's never too late to bless the people that bless you. And we want to do some different things with our guests that are coming on. And so we have sponsors now that are helping us meet that dream to help the people. Guys, I'm going to shoot Michelle's information here, but before I do that, I want her to get into these, because you got to understand it so that you'll be able to utilize it more effectively, and so that you can be able to ask Michelle how to do this the proper way. So Michelle, talk to these people, tell the people about this whole sound and the bowls and all of that, and we're going to shoot you information so they can be reaching out to you.
So, for instance, I do this sound quartz. I have quartz bowls, and I also have Tibetan bowls, different bowls. I have the Tibetan ones, which are the brass ones, and then I also have the quartz ones, the crystal quartz ones. And I also use the ocean drum, and I have a tongue drum. Those are what I use for sound baths. Put it that way, sound baths. That's what we're calling them. So what happens is that you have a group. You can either lay down, or you can just be in with your eyes closed. And what I try to do, I do some aromatherapy in the room. I put some lavender relaxation. I had some music going. I actually, like I said, I have a whole meditation CD that I just haven't been to the studio that I'm waiting to put out. I have one ready, but it's amazing how you see people. Last month I did one, and this week, Thursday, I have one, a sound using these bowls. So what I first want to show you is this ocean drum here.
Right there, Michelle. There you go, right there. Ooh.
Now, can you imagine yourself on the ocean with that? So that's the ocean drum.
And Michelle, they come in different sizes.
Yes, the size that I had was actually a 16 inch one that I had. So the one that I just had was a 16-inch one. So
does it matter, Michelle? Because
no,
I'm
it doesn't matter.
as long as there we go. Oh, yeah, we can definitely see it.
It doesn't matter. And I also have an 8-inch one. So the next thing I have, which is a B note, because they come in different frequencies. They come in different frequencies, and I have like a set of 7. So this right here is what I have as a B note right now. So
see, Michelle, you already look. You know, I be look. Y'all be finished talking, and I'm still into the. Because I have experienced this, y'all. Look, don't y'all think I ain't say? Because
then I have one that looks like a lotus leaf.
Like
If you everybody look at the lotus leaf, this is like a new beginning. When you see a lotus, that means an new. And it's the creativity that you use with it, with that. So basically, here's a tip that I will say too. If you ever in the mounds of doing this, again, water charges, right? Moon, right? Moves the ocean and stuff. In the case of, you can put some water in this, and with these frequencies and sounds, and drink that drinking water, those vibrations can do some healing properties as well. So yeah,
I love this. I love it. I'm being quiet because I love it.
So yeah, so those are some. I have a set. Now my desire is to get the one where you stand in, and it's coming. That's I want the one where you can stand in and feel the vibrations, because with the vibration, it can move the cells and regenerate whatever it needs to do. Because that, again, that vibration, that vibranium, that will help. Yeah, for relaxation at night.
So Michelle, let me ask you this, and I know we you know, you know how we do. So how did you get into the bowls? How did you get into learning? I mean, I know it's a part of therapy and what have you, but how did you get into the different aspects of learning about the bowl? What was your energy with that?
So what happened is, it happened at a retreat where I had 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I invited a speaker from the therapeutic side, and we had worked together. We had did some clients or whatever. And at the retreat, she bought one, and I was like, wow. And then I just went on and got certified to do it and just practice it. And then there's also a pyramid that you can use. That came in the mail today. I'm so happy. I can't wait to unwrap it.
So we're gonna have another conversation. I can't wait till you come. I just want to come to your house. I mean, I want to come to your facility, and I just want to just experience. So like, make sure you tell me how much it is before I get there, because I know it ain't cheap. But I've had some of the soundboard bowls therapy before. I call it therapy because someone I knew how to do it just like you do, and it was very relaxing. It was for a migraine sufferer that has anxieties. Oh my God!
Yeah, and then here's the thing too. It's not going to happen in no one service, because for instance, now let me put this disclaimer too. We're not promoting cures.
No,
We're
not at
just
all.
helping with your symptom. Now, last month when I did this, I told each one of the participants who came, I said, I need you to let me know how you slept. You know, most of them said they slept good. And then one of them said that she had a headache. Well, the headache was because you're going to have to come because there was a blockage. Something was blocking.
Yep.
And you will have that. If it's something blocked, it actually was helping release, but you know, you have to come back a couple of times. Now,
you don't do it one time. You don't.
Yeah, the one time is just not gonna help. And it could if that's what you choose to do, but I would recommend. So that's why I have packages. So I would do like 4 sessions. So then like next month, for people who don't know about mindfulness, I'm actually going to do a course on mindfulness, a 4-week course, and you'll get the downloadable workbook for it, for just to go over some practices about for you to journal on mindfulness. You know, one of the things I will ask them to do, I want them to, I'm giving up a secret, what I'm going to say in the class for who might be taking it. One of the things I'm going to do is tell them to go outside for 5 minutes and just experience what they hear with their eyes closed. So I want you to practice those things, and I want you to graduate on that, to have you to get into a routine of practicing mindfulness.
Michelle, you asked me a question the other day, and I'm going to answer it a different way from where I answered it the other day. This is one of the other things that I want you to do. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the reason why, because all of these things affect us on a regular basis. And for me, I want to see, I'm a resource person. I like to know different ways, because I'm 60 years old. I've had migraines the majority of my life, but there are certain things at certain times I have found to have worked for me.
So
like you said, this is one of them. It didn't happen overnight. I knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody, and I had like 6 sessions. And I was at first I was like, man, what are you trying to do to me? You put me in a space, and they're like, nah, what are you talking about? I'm not texting you with anything.
Just bringing you to learn. It's just bringing you to a conscious awareness of what's going on within you. So it's not that you putting yourself higher above God, because again, I pray before my room. Even this week, I have it this week. I asked the person whose spa that I'm going to, I asked her, I said, hey, I need to come in. There are some things I need to do before we have this session and what happens in this room, because I want to create a safe space for the people who will be coming. And you know, and they're getting that just for $10. That's the VIP. They even get to sit in this chair. I have to show you that. Now that mobile vibroacoustic chair that I have, that I use.
You gonna bring it May 13th so I can take a break, or May 12th? Can I just come to your house on May 12th?
You can come. But that vibroacoustics, and then again, everything that I write is a resource tool. So like I use therapeutic things, adult coloring books. I just did my 3rd series of one. Self-discovery. I had, affirmation blossoms, creating those words of I am worthy. I woke up love, because then if somebody like a client that I have who ain't been feeling love all their life, then they wake up and color that page, I am love. That thing will resonate with them. So like just speaking life and positivity into somebody, those are the type of things that I do. So, then of course with the music, he's working with me with putting a whole meditation together. So I've already did one, but I'm doing a whole thing with one.
If you guys that are joined us late in the interview, if you go back to the beginning, if you go back to the replay, and listen to the first part of how we introduced Michelle, you'll see some of her information out there. You even hear one of the her sounds. I'm gonna call it Michelle sounds out there. Michelle has put together such a beautiful packet. Michelle, I am just, you never ceases to amaze me. I don't know about you other guys out there, but you never cease to amaze me. And everything that you do is uniquely designed, and it has so much thought into it, that that mindfulness that you put to it, and it makes it so much easier to have somebody like you in our world that can openly talk about these things and make it plain to even the smallest of the child can understand it. And I want to just say thank you for doing that, because we don't have to agree with everything. If it ain't, look guys, if it ain't working for you, don't call Michelle. I'm just saying. Buy her CD buy her CD, Seize a Moment. She got a CD and the book to go with it. Buy that. But don't put down what she is doing, because this is things that she has studied. She's gone through the classes. She's got the training. She's got the degree. She know what the heck she's talking about. And if you don't believe she knows what she's talking about, then don't watch Uncensored Conversation, because I'm telling you, I'm just here to say, don't watch Mind, Body, and Soul, because I'm just telling you, she keeps.
And I want to also say that the fruit of this work is really working, because in September I'll be going out the country to do this out the country, and again it's called Enlighten the Soul, Mind, Body, and Spirit. So that's a huge major benefits of the work that we'll be able to, whoever comes along, because I don't know. It can be an intimate group. It is what it is, but I'm looking forward to it. And it's an intimate setting, and then next month I'm doing a sister circle. And I'm doing a sister circle at in Orlando. So it's really, people are really getting to move on learning some more holistic properties and just bringing people together. Like I said, the retreat, the women didn't want to leave. I'm like, the host is gone. They was like, we just out here. And again, I bottle water. Yeah. It does so much. It does so much. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful to God for his gifts.
That's it.
His gifts.
He found a good place to have a good person.
He just using me as a light worker. That's it.
That's it. I'm going to put Michelle's information back up there to you guys. Go to her website. Join her on Tuesday nights for Upfront with Mind, Body, and Soul. My girl be doing a thing. She got the thing. Some of y'all are sitting there waiting for your next move to make. All I got to say to you is don't hesitate. Do the daggone thing today so that you can move to your next level, because Mind, Body, and Up Front with Mind, Body, and Soul. Michelle's keeping it real for us. Michelle, you, as always, have done an amazing job. We got to bring you back, because I want to do part 2 interview with you. We showed some of your stuff, and I can tell you guys, be on the lookout for tomorrow, because we're gonna actually do the replay of tonight's show, but we're also gonna do the intro, Michelle, that we did about you. We're going to put that up tomorrow again, so that you can grasp some more things again about Michelle if you missed it tonight. Michelle B. Hammond is the biz on bomb. This chick can sing. She can write music. She can bring your mind back into alignment. And she can put you in a bowl full of energy. And she can turn around and write a book about it. How about that? I don't know none about it that can do all of that and still be my she'd be really rocking. Michelle, you always give us something. You give us, we're here Uncensored. We always love having you. I want you to touch base just a little bit on your new product before we go, because you mentioned it earlier. It's in the video, but I want people to know more about the video. About your new product as well as the class. So people, here's the information how to reach her, but she's gonna give you just a highlight. The class is not free. Don't ask her. Her product is not free. Don't ask. Michelle, it's in your hands, girl. Tell them a little bit about it, just for those who may have missed it.
So right now, again, my newest thing is called Mama's Healing Sounds for You. That's using mobile doing workshops with the sound bath healing individually in your home, groups, parties, whatever you want to do. But increased in this is a vibroacoustics chair using solfeggio frequencies to promote healing. There's different types of guided imagery. That's another thing that people, you can do, read a script. I actually got a couple of scripts that I've written to actually put people in a meditative state. So yeah, those are some things. And then to practice on mindfulness, coming in May, I have a class, which is a virtual class. It's $50. That'll include you having the workbook download. You'll get a journal that you can use while you're in this mindfulness class, and it'll also come with a t-shirt, and we will have a special little celebration virtually where I'll have a special guest come in later time, like in June. So yeah, there's a whole lot of things that's going on, and a project of a past book that was written, Polished, Passionate, and Poised, Memoirs for a World Changer. We actually started filming on that last month at the Warm Your Heart, Warm Your Mind, Warm Your Soul retreat. So that'll be coming out further down in the year. So a lot of great things moving along.
Well, you make sure you tag us in that information. We love to support your endeavors. This has been the most it's hard to believe, Michelle, we met at the heat of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Nobody would even believe it that, people ask me all the time, well, how did you meet her? Y'all just don't even know. Some of some of my realest friends I have never met in person. We're going to change that on May 13th, though. Never met in person, but we support each other's endeavors and what we're doing. And Michelle is one of those people that we will continue to support with her projects. Michelle, we believe in what you're doing. You have blessed many people with just your giving heart, and we appreciate you from the mind, body, and soul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you. Michelle, we don't want to tie you up for the rest of the night, but can you tell the people if you want them to walk away with something tonight, what would it be?
Encourage your healing.
Woo, that's good. Encourage your healing.
Encourage your healing. Just sit still in a moment and see what you get out of that. Encourage
your healing. I'm going to take that my own self, Michelle. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to take that away with my own self. Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate you, Michelle. Anything that, Victoria Elevates can do for you, we're here for you. I was going to show your something, but God told me not to show it because you need to be able to show it because it's yours. You know what I'm talking about? Let me do it like this, Michelle. Wait a minute. I mean, I'm just going to, this ain't it now. This ain't it. Okay. I'm just giving you a hint.
Okay.
I was going to show it. I wanted to surprise you and say, and it's right. I mean, it's sitting right here in front of me, but I don't want to because I think it's something it's something that you have to do with it. You have to introduce it.
And you know what? That's funny because I know what you're saying, and I'm actually working on a photo shoot with that near the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aren't you glad I didn't share it with you? Yeah. Because I added something to it at the last minute.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it. So.
Yeah, I'm working. Actually, I need to get that scheduled. I've actually got to get that scheduled because that's a new promo that I'm gonna use for the host. Yeah.
Well, I think you're gonna like what I added to it.
Okay, I thank you. I appreciate it.
It's our gift to you for all the hard work that you've done.
And Kay, thank you so much. Kay was on it. I love it, Kay. Kay's on it. She named the alpha, the delta, the theta frequency. I would tell anybody, go to YouTube. Now I'm giving you some information. Just go to YouTube and put on solfeggio frequencies, SOLFEGGIO frequencies, and 58482 Hz that is a good one that promotes good sleep.
Well, I'm gonna call Michelle. That's all I'm gonna do. Call Michelle. Matter of fact, I started to call you earlier and said, Michelle, I got this thing going back here. But you already know my health issues, so you know. But it's like, oh my God, can we get rid of this? Well, Michelle, I definitely appreciate you again for being with us on Uncensored Conversation. We're gonna be bringing you back. I know you got another CD coming. I know you got another book coming. I know.
The music. I have the songs. I just started working with. I just got to get to the studio, and it's hard finding some musicians that's really committed.
All right, you committed musicians.
Yeah, I just need to find some musicians that are committed. I'm like, know the music. I have the stuff, learn it. When I'm ready to roll, we ready to roll. So it's just hard finding the musicians right now that's committed.
Yeah. Well, I
can't have everybody on the project.
No, you can't have everybody in your team, because everybody on your team, they can talk a good game until you start doing something.
Yeah. It's just,
yeah. But we definitely,
again, everyone, I hope this has helped you tonight. Thank you again, Victoria, for having me on tonight. And if you're ever in a call, again, I'm available for bookings. You might want to do a girlfriend toast, a girlfriend sleepover, whatever. I'm available.
Well, Michelle, I'm gonna need you to be quiet because my birthday is October the 27th. And somebody asked me what I want to do, and I want a sleepover.
Okay.
I know somebody might say I'm too old to have a sleepover, but you're just lying.
No. What did I say earlier? We were told Friday to get in tune with our 6-year-old self. I went on my lunch break and walked outside, took my shoes off, and put my feet in the water on Friday. So I got in tune with my 6-year-old self. So
I love the water. And now and I can't swim a lick, but boy, I get in that water and I'm a whole different person.
Yes.
Whole different person. Well, Michelle, thank you again for being with us. We're gonna bring you back in a couple of weeks after we get through with this month of May is gone. Probably gonna bring you back like in July. We want to touch base with you on some things, and by that time we'll have that other thing that we talked about the other day. It'll be up and running, and we want to bring you back so you can explain your portion of that project as well. Michelle, we thank you again. To those that you are watching, make sure you be back with us next week. We have the phenomenal Tamara Lynn Roy will be here. She is the cosmetologist, hair goddess extraordinaire. She's going to be coming back next week, and she's going to be talking about how we do our hair. The natural way is going to give you some points. Be ready. Michelle, you have a blessed and rest of your week. And we are now here to empower you, embrace you, and educate you to be elevated and not tolerated. And we're bringing tonight up from mind, body, and soul, Michelle B. Hammond. And we will see you guys next week right here at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it.